So we're gonna check out some Stephen A. Being Stephen A useful idiot. So let's see what's going on here.
I believe if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are healthy, the Lakers could go to the playoffs with those two guys. My reservations are extremely deep about Russell Westbrook in this system.
Stephen A. Smith went on First Take and bashed Russell Westbrook some more. When new Lakers head coach Darvin Ham was introduced, this was Smith's takeaway.
Him being at that press conference yesterday, actually to me, I didn't like it.
Thus, ex-NBA vet J.J. Redick and current New Orleans Pelican C.J. McCollum responded.
So you said a random take, and then you explained a bunch of things about Russell Westbrook that had nothing to do with that take, and so I want clarification on this.
Sure.
What is your issue with Russell Westbrook being at that news conference?
That's a wild thing. That's a wild thing for you to say. Him supporting his team, his organization, his coach, a fellow African-American man that gets hired by the Los Angeles Lakers.
Don't go there.
That's not you're saying, this is what you said.
But no. But see,
you said that
you're crossing the line when you bring up another African-American man. That's not where I'm going with that.
You said that.
I'm talking about the Lakers organization discussing trading him.
What does that got to do with him?
Well, what I'm saying, no. What are you talking about? What that?
You said him going to the press conference. You're disappointed.
I'm saying.
Don't run the tape. We got the tape.
What was that thing Draymond said after the Mad Dog fiasco?
When I say sincerely yours, the new media, what I mean by that is the landscape of media is about to change. You will no longer be allowed to sit there and say what you want. You will no longer be allowed to put out these false narratives. You will no longer be able to allow to not know what you're talking about, and we're going to listen to you. Those days are long gone. You know why? Because we have guys like J.J. Redick, who's done it, who speaks it, who knows how to speak on any different topic, who's not afraid to shut an idiot up. When I say sincerely yours, the new media, you will be held accountable. And you will have to know what you're talking about in order to speak on these sports. You will have to know what you're talking about in order to speak on this game of basketball. You know why? Because we're doing it now.
This is what we are seeing in real time, and it's a breath of fresh air. Because you see the lambastic, outlandish, unabashed world of sports media where it's simply who can outtake the other take in the world of takes. This conglomerate of a BS-riddled factory of outrage at all times is finally answering for it.
Stephen,
The
please
Lakers organization has been talking about moving Russell Westbrook. They're talking about trading him. My point is that this guy, there are question marks as to whether or not he's going to be a part of the team. That's all I meant by saying.
Right now he's on the team.
I understand
And that's his new coach.
Exactly. Now let's just play devil's advocate here. Let's say Russell.
Yeah, let's just play devil's advocate here. This is obviously an older clip, and it's just a microcosm of what ESPN has created. So you put a real, and I'm going to use one of his words, Stephen A. Smith gets up here and he bloviates about all these things, and he's real animated. I'm serious, guys. He reminds me of an emotional auntie, and I'm not saying that to diminish or talk down on Stephen A. Smith, but he really does remind me of an emotional auntie that I remember growing up, who would say certain things and do certain things to get certain reactions out of people. Which means you're not genuine. And I don't care what society says. If you look at all the social media and everything that's going on, at the end of the day, you have to be who you are. And here's an example of why that is true. So on social media, you can portray, you do all these things, you got all this going on, this, that, and the other. You meet someone in real life, if that's not who you are, you're not going to be successful in whatever outcome that you desire, right? Or a lot of people will say what you deserve, but I think it's you deserve what you have worked for. So if you worked for on social media to portray this certain life, when you get out here in real life, you get whatever you deserve. You get whatever you deserve. And Stephen A. Smith, he's one of those people. Whether you agree or disagree with him, you can question it, you can research it. Jason Whitlock has showed you that Stephen A. Smith is like, he's not a real person. He's someone that's made up. His entire life is made up. He makes $12 million a year. And that's because he's willing to toe the line of the agenda of Disney, which owns ESPN, ABC, and all of these type of things. So they basically tell him, this is what we need to push. And he has pushed these things, which has elevated him up to the level of making 12, 13 million. I'm gonna say 12 because I heard it was 12. $12 million a year. Great. That's fantastic. If money is all you care about. If your integrity is at stake, maybe you can be at $5 million a year. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? 99.9% of people don't make $5 million a year. The top 15% of people in this entire country, 300 million plus. Actually, I think it's probably going down at this point, but they make $200,000 or less. Most people don't make this type of money. So why do people get into this thing to where I'm going to make the most money as possible, but you're selling your soul? Not even your soul, your integrity. You should always be on the path and the route to do what's right. Always do what's right. I don't care if you're going to lose money, and especially in the position of Stephen A. Smith. And I really think they're at a point to where they're trying to get rid of this guy because he had beef after beef, and person coming after him, and the next person coming after him, but he does generate clicks and views and dollars and things. He does generate that, but from a personal standpoint, there's no amount of money that you can pay me to say things that I don't believe and say things that are true. And I learned way back in the day with Ric Flair. Remember that? WWE. Woo! And the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, they said, everybody has a price. I think that's true. But the word that I would substitute with that, I would substitute everybody with most people. because people really don't understand that money comes and goes. Oh, you got all this money today. You're going to spend that money. You mean to tell me you're going to get this payout? Just let's play simple. They'll pay you $1 million. Are you meaning to tell me you're just not going to spend any of that $1 million? No. You're probably going to try to live $1 million lifestyle. Most people would. Fucking course I wouldn't. No. You give me $1 million, I'm going to live like I'm making $17,000 a year. But, you know, this is what it is. And people don't realize money is a tool. If they looked at money as a tool, they would think about money in a totally different way.
Russell Westbrook did not show up. What do you think Stephen A would say? The shoe would be on the other foot, most likely. Don't know him personally. Can't say that he would for sure say it, but I do believe in this hemisphere of sports media that he would say, oh, what a bad teammate. He's not even in it. The Lakers want him out. Clearly he wants out. Couldn't even support his new coach. Couldn't even be there. Russell Westbrook made time to do it, but there is unequivocal doubt, no doubt in my mind, that would have occurred on First Take.
Do you want to take back that statement?
No.
I feel you don't want to take it back.
No.
You said that he shouldn't have been at the press conference, which is foul.
I said I did not lie.
He should have been at the press
First of all,
conference.
it's not foul.
Smith would, in my opinion, attempt to save face towards the segment's conclusion by claiming his criticism was somehow directed at the Lakers organization. However, the point could also be made that without this pushback, Stephen A would have skated on by. He just would have said this and had no pushback whatsoever. Or if it was somebody else who was not a former NBA player, he would have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I mean, you saw him double down when he was already in the wrong. And then, in my opinion, gave the final verdict of, well, I'm speaking from the Lakers' standpoint. He backpedaled and backpedaled and backpedaled and backpedaled. And then he gave this whimsical answer of a conclusion. The point could also be made that if this was his stance, probably should have made it way earlier in the segment, but he didn't. One person who thoroughly enjoyed it, the great Kevin Durant. Forward for the Brooklyn Nets. Ahmed wrote, Stephen A. Smith dropped Max Kellerman just for him to get dunked on by NBA players daily for ratings, which is true. Lakers guru added, JJ Redick and CJ McCollum jumped Stephen A. this morning for a dumb take about Russ being at the presser, and it was glorious. Most of the time, these morning sports debate shows are pablum at best, actively harmful at worst. Redick, though, offered an excellent potential justification for their ongoing proliferation, the chance to see guests stop by and destroy the main host.
And then Stephen A. Smith, he's always in these beefs with all these people. He's been in the beef with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. He's been in beef with Jason Whitlock. One of his latest beef today is with what he said about Jaylen Brown. That caused Isaiah Thomas to come out and challenge Stephen A. Smith. At some point, do you even think introspectively that is it everybody else who has a problem, or is it me? And as a man, I gotta look and say, wait. Everybody coming after me, I have to think that it's me. And I'm still of the mindset of, I'm not a sheep and I don't think like everybody else does. But at some point, you still have to be like, is everybody else wrong? And am I the only person that's right? If you think that way, well, you all fucked up in the head and this, that, and the other, because at some point, everybody else is not wrong. everybody else is not wrong. So you really have to think about things. When you think introspectively, it's going to open up a lot of doors for you. You're going to understand that you're not perfect. Ooh, and that irks me when someone says that. Nobody's perfect. That just bugs me. But you do have to understand that, I'll put it this way. You have flaws. Everybody has flaws. But I guarantee you, when you think introspectively, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have done different? Life will be much, much better. It will be way better for you. And that's regardless of the money that you make. But these people make this money. They're put up on a pedestal. And they feel they can do different things. $12 billion a year in the grand scheme of things in the hierarchy of the United States of America is chump change. Because you have people that make money, the numbers that I don't even know, that I can't even process. And why that's important is that they have strings to pull to where they can tell this person to do this and this person to do that. Look, you gonna have to go get to Stephen A and be like, look, bruh, you're no longer useful. You were a useful idiot for a better period of 20 to 30 years. You're no longer useful. They're not gonna say that to him, of course. And when this hits him, he don't even see it coming. It's coming. You're a useful idiot now, but I think that's waning at this point. And when it hits him, he is gonna be totally shocked. And he started his own little platform, this, that, and the other. And when this hits him, oh my goodness, it's gonna be entertainment. He's gonna get clicks, he's gonna get views, because he's gonna be totally shocked when it finally hits him that he is no longer the useful idiot.
First Take featured more people dropping by to point out with palpable frustration how problematic a lot of the arguments can be. That would truly be a show worth watching. You know, actual debate instead of empty theater designed to soullessly manufacture conflict and outrage from one camp or another for the sake of the all-powerful engagement metric. Lastly, Fadeaway World wrote, what we all knew was on the horizon. Don't look now, but there may be a war brewing in the NBA media world as guys like Draymond, Redick, and McCollum take their place covering the game. Guys like Stephen A and others find themselves on the defensive as pro-player narratives flood the network. The bottom line is Mr. Smith is going to have to be at the top of his game if he wants to keep going against these players every morning. So far, he's been getting cooked.
So yeah, that's going to be it for the end of this live. Just want to come in here real quick and let y'all understand, whoever y'all fans of this guy, Stephen A. Smith, it's not a real guy. His whole life, his whole existence is made up. Puts out a tweet and he said he wakes up in the morning and one of his first thoughts, you think about when you wake up in the morning. When I wake up, in my creative thoughts are just flowing at that time, and so I try to do things to feed that creative thought. That's just me. I'm not saying anybody else is like that. This dude puts out a tweet. When I wake up, I'm thinking about how to make my boss's money and how I can get a cut of that. He put that out. Those were his words. So think about just the mindset of that compared to your mindset. I ain't thinking about none of that shit. My bosses, and I even hate saying bosses, the people that I work for, those people are just fine. Like I'm just fine. So my thoughts are not how to get them richer. And can I have some? I know y'all paid me $12 million, but y'all making $17 billion. But is this $12 million good? Can I have some? You're groveling at the feet of these people, which means you're gonna do whatever they tell you to do. And as a man, that is shameful.